Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's me, Joseph, back on another Card 5 Vanguard deck performance. If you enjoyed them, like, subscribe, most of us, shall we? This time we are covering Lyrical Monasterio, Set 3, Michu. I always add the Ru to the end, I don't know why. Maybe it's because the character from Will Dress, what was his name, Michu? I think his name is actually Michu. So, Michu, I'm gonna instinctively call him Michu at some point, so don't be confused by it, that's just how I've been pronouncing it, is a fun deck. It's nice, I play a lot of orders. For some reason, I realized a stupid combo with this deck, and this deck has the stupidest issues of not having soul problems. So let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? And you can see how bullshit consistent this deck is. Honestly, this deck is almost the exact same as it was when it first came out. I think it is the exact same as it was when it first came out, because I think this is my second exact build, and it still is that good. So let's go and get this started, shall we? First up, we have our starter, Afternoon Dance Lights is Michu. Yes, one of the Ridelines where I really love the grade 1 and 0. So grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 6k base. On which road playing win second, draw a card. She looks beautiful. She looks so happy. I love the pink hair flowing. Her hand doing the wave. She just looks so cool. Anyways, standard starter, not specified, is you just get a free draw. Weirdly enough, this is one of the few times where it is required you run the starter. I mean, they don't specify the starter's name in their grade 1's ride text, but it does require you to ride from a grade 0 with Michu in its card name. So you must run the specific grade 0. Sadly, for people who want to run other cards, good for me because I love having the full Rideline. I love Michu grade 0, so I don't mind having Afternoon Dance Lessons at all. In fact, I'll have Afternoon Dance Lessons with her any time of the week. Aha, get the pickup line. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Anyways, moving on from my embarrassment to hit on a card. Greatest Star or Tanza. Our first trigger, and it's our over trigger as per usual. Grade 0 boost, 50 shield, 5k power. Over triggering amount of over trigger in your deck reveals a trigger, move that card, draw a card, choose one of you, it gets plus 1 mana for the turn. And if you reveal it during draw, activate its additional effect, which is during this fight, you get during your turn, all your rear guards get plus 10k power. All around pretty nice, because you know you get to that free draw and a million if you damage check it or drive check it. And also that plus 10 to your board. Cool. You don't need it. Trust me, this deck does so much without it. I don't think there's been a single game where I've actually sacked the over. If I did, I don't remember. But, like, this deck does not need the over. The over just makes it easier to win, because this deck gets numbers on its own. So, yeah, one of the over. But honestly, this could just be any other trigger, and you probably would still win, just considering how consistent this deck is. So, one of Intanza. Then we have our 3 draw triggers in Transparent, Snowy Knight, Bear Toy. So grade 0 boost, 5k power, 5k shield, 4k power. Draw trigger to the guard circle. If your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, she gets plus 5k shield, so she's a 10k shield. And all around the draw trigger is really nice because it increases your hand cards. And the extra shield is kind of helpful because first grade 3 turns tend to where I be at a struggling point, because I may or may not go all out on first grade 3 turn. So Bear Toy definitely helps pull me back from there, and she also helps me get my certain very specific units in my hand. So I like Bear Toy, though once you get to the late game, draw triggers aren't really not necessary. So if you want to tech this out for like a crit or another front, go ahead. But honestly, I do just like having the draw trigger here, especially because we have the trifecta, so 3 of draws. We have 4 fronts and Snow Skip Padavi. I was going to do the mouth thing again, but I decided not to. Grade 0 boost, 50k shield, 4k power. Front trigger to guard circle. Opponent's vanguards are grade 3 grades, plus 5k shield. So cool. You know, our 20k shield, that's also a front, meaning our front row gets plus 10. This deck hits numbers. It hits stupid number. Well, it doesn't hit stupid. It hits more numbers than I thought it would, and it does it consistently. So having a front there to boost those numbers up is pretty nice, especially because, you know, it makes it harder to guard, and suddenly this deck becomes instant win on Persona right turn, so, which is very consistent in this deck, by the way. So 4 of Padavi. She will probably be the reason you're dead without you even realizing it. Then we have our 4 crits and Precious 2 and Edwidge. Okay, I want to let this be clear. The whole time I was playing this deck when I first got it, and I even did it on my channel, and no one corrected me on it, I used Michiru's Cannonball, not Michiru's own Cannonball, the Order Cannonball, as a Soul Blast 3 when it's a Soul Blast 2. And guess what? Even when I was doing that, this deck was consistently winning, not decking out, and not having soul problems. So you can imagine how bullshit I am now when I know what the cost actually is. The crit, you don't need it for soul. You don't. End of story. It's not needed for that. But if you wanted to use it for soul, you can. Anyways, grade 0 boost, 50k shield, 4k power, auto rear at the end battle. She boosted, put her to soul, choose units, get plus 2. Like I said, playing the deck with just the Soul Blast 3, had no soul problems, was not even, I used the crit once, that was it, was never decking out. You don't need this. If you want a crit, here you go, but 4 of crit. I have the trifecta, this deck is deadly, take my word for it, trust me, because if you don't believe me, there's proof on the fucking channel for you. Proof that I did it. And I'm telling you, it's scary. And then we have our 4 heals in Peaceful Garden Anika. We all know why she's here. She's my favorite generic hero from Lyrical Monasterio, which means she gets put in here basically whenever I can. So if it's generic, so yeah, that's our heal. We all know why I don't like the special heals. They're a little bit too situational, and they might force you to drop out more hand cards and actually save hand cards. And that's always a situation you got to be worried about. What are the chances that you drop more hand cards instead of just dropping consistently the same amount? So if you want to run the special 15k heals or like the 25k heals, go ahead, but I do definitely prefer the normal heals. So 4 of Anika. Then we have our first order. So this is the most important card in the deck. Fuck everything else. Straight up. Okay, well, maybe not the glitter grade one, but fuck everything else. Because all set, which I really hate the fact that the Discord name wasn't right, because the Discord name was called Finishing Preparations. I've grown emotionally attached to that name. Is such a good grade 1 order. So grade 1 set order, you play it for free, and then act order zone not once per turn, not named once per turn. If you have a Vanguard with Michu in its card name, the whole Rideline has it. So if you manage to get this out while you're at grade 0, yes, you can use it. Rest this card, soul charge 1, choose a cannonball from your drop, and add it to hand. Choose a cannonball from your hand and put it to order zone. This gets you a free order, get you a free soul charge, and you can do it straight from turn 1. The amount of advantage this card nets you is stupid. You only technically need 1 of these because you can instant search it, but I like having 4. You want to know why? Flex, because guess what? Like I said, this deck is almost the exact same as before. You want to know what one of the things that was the same as this one is? Both orders are at 4 of. Still winning. Not even struggling. All set is a perfect order. I love it. Michu looks so cute in it. I get that free soul charge. I get that free cannonball to order zone because that means I can set 2 orders a turn basically. 4 of. It's just good. Then we have our 4 grade 1 of the Rideline, or not grade 1 of the Rideline, sorry, but no, that's different, is Shutter Chance Elsie. So grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear when the attack she boosted hits a Vanguard. If all set, this, is in your order zone, look at top 5, to 1 glitter card or set order from one of them, reveal it, put it to your hand, shuffle your deck. If you reveal the card, put this unit on bottom. Oh, Discord never came with that translation. Either way, so now that I know she goes to bottom, wait. Oh my god, this deck works so much better than I thought before. Every time I read these cards again, I learn something new that makes this deck better. Before, I was Soul Blasting 3. Turns out I only need Soul Blaster 2. Never had a deck out problem? But I got close to it on occasions. Guess what? She immediately says, fuck that problem. Free search, on hit pressure, consistency, gets me either a Persona Ride, because my Persona Ride does have glitter, because Michu does have glitter, or gets you your main grade 1, or get you a set order. Straight up 4 of, and you're crazy not to run out of 4 if you have the money to do so. Then we have our last non-PG grade 1 in the deck, which is 4 copies of Shy Singing Voice Nokuno. So, she's our glitter grade 1. I don't know where she comes from. I think she comes from Keter. I'm not so sure. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, because that's what I read from like when the week before this was released. It said new lyrical Rideline with glitter from allies with Keter Sanctuary, etc. So I'm assuming she's from Keter. Anyways, auto drop when a card is put into your order zone. If you do not have a unit with Nonoko in its Nukono in its card name, Soul Blast 1 to call this card to the back or rear. If you have 2 copies of it in drop, you can only call 1. So essentially, she's a cost version of Maple. Except the thing is, though, you have to put an order into your order zone. Thankfully, you can put it from anywhere. And not to mention... Oh, another thing I had. Because apparently, for her skill that I have from Discord, I have to be placed from hand. Just saying, this deck has been extreme... And I did play her most of the time when it wasn't placed from hand. But like I said, nerfed rulings, and I was still winning with this. And then glitter, Michu, activate your Vanguard his glitter with Michu in its card name. Auto back row center rear at the end battle your Vanguard attack. If your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, by counterblasting 1 and discarding 1, you can stand this unit and swap its positions with your Vanguard. At the end of the turn, you swap them back. Your soul does not change. Okay, I know this gets shut down by Bodus because Bodus can just kill this. But my question is this. If you swap her in the Vanguard and then the Vanguard dies while it's on rear... Do you stay on Nukuno? Is this like a way to bait your opponent? Because if you do, never play this in premium because someone, especially if you're going against Kagura, because Kagura will defeat flare you and you will regret your decisions. But yeah, all around pretty nice. She's very easy to call. Like I said, Soul, never an issue in this deck. Counter Blast, I don't know why they didn't fucking make this a Soul Blast. My issues with Soul don't exist. I wish they made this a Soul Blast to make this more balanced. And then get that swap. It's just 4 of. It's just amazing. You get that extra Vanguard attack, and you get consistently good numbers, just a grade 1. Because she also gets to keep the Persona Ride boost if you actually Persona Road, so plus 4 of. Then we have our 4 PGs in Soapy Splash, Ravinia, standard PG that I normally run in most of my decks, grade 1 boost, 0 shield, 6k base. Continues to have no 4 sounds in the deck, and auto when she's put on guard circle, choose one of your units, it cannot pick the battle, and if you have 2 or more hand cards, choose a card from hand, discard it. So standard PG, not splash spot, basically that means that this is only one of the cards in your hand when you place it on guard circle, that means the attack is still nullified, you don't have to discard this, but it's great because that means you can go all out on the offense and not have to worry about the defense as long as the PG is there for you. And that's pretty great because, like I said, you can commit most of your hand to the board, like that's what I do almost immediately when I play this deck when I get to grade 3. And honestly, the PG helps during that first turn where maybe I don't have a lot of hand cards left. So for Ravinia, she always happens to be there when I need her to. She has my back like Twin Booker from Dragon Empire does. So run out as a 4 of, because she does actually come in helpful when I need her to on rare occasions. Then we have our last grade 1 of in the ride deck, none in the main deck, unfortunately, of Happy Shopping Michu. This is why I hate it when Bushy doesn't give Rideline rearguard skills. I know for everyone else, they don't care. In fact, I think they like it more because you know, you don't have to go wasting time to buy extra copies of it, or you don't have to waste money, and I can get behind that, but come on, there are cards that I love the arts of, and I would totally run them in the main deck if they had a skill that justified. Like, that's why I did it in, like, set 1 for other decks, because they had justifiable reasons. They had rearguard skills, so I could run them. This one doesn't have a rearguard skill, which sucks. Anyways, Michu, the really cool-looking grade 1. She looks so beautiful. Grade 1 boost by Kashoda K base. Auto when she's placed by riding from the grade 0 Michiru. In this card name, see, Michiru, I told you I would say it. Search deck for 1, all set, put it to order zone, and shuffle your deck. Okay, so discard 1, ride this from ride deck. Get a free fucking search, place it right to order zone. If you dropped this, Soul Blast your starter, call this out. I don't need to explain to you why this is all around good just for the grade 1 lineup alone. 1 of in the ride deck. If you need me to explain this to you, watch the video again and then figure out why this is good. Then move on to our grade 2s. 3 copies of Schedule and Process Romori, grade 2 and set 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater. If all set is in your order zone, she gets +5 for battle. I like how even though Cannonball is the most important part to Michu herself, honestly, all set is the card that appears in most, if not everyone's card text, because it's the one you play almost immediately. So, like, that's a free 15k swing, which is pretty nice. And then auto rear when this attack hits Soul Blast 1, choose a Cannonball from your drop zone, put it to your order zone. Cool! So, if for some reason you're having problems getting Cannonballs out, this just gets you a free one from your drop zone, because the Cannonball goes to drop on its own accord. If it hits, that is. Here's my thing. I never use her. I called her to board once, and I never got to use her, because I won before I could attack with her. And I can still consistently bring my Cannonballs out. Like I said, deck is just good. Romori, she's a good card, don't get me wrong. I just literally have had not the need to use her. She's the one card in this deck I've never had to actually use, if we count in terms of abilities, simply because everyone else kills my opponent before Romori can come out, because my board is already perfect. 3 of Romori. One day she'll get to show me why I put her in here. Until then, just a 3 of. Actually, no, I did use her once, but still, I could have done it without her, but she was helpful, so 3 of. And then we have our only other, yeah, she's our only grade 2 in the main deck. Then we have our ride deck grade 2, none in the main deck, obviously, of Sparkling Summer Michu. Grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base, it has glitter just like the other one, and then auto when she's placed by riding from the grade 1 Michu. It just says riding from a grade 1, riding from a grade 0. They have to have the name. Doesn't specify the name, though, which means if they ever make an involved version of the Rideline's, what I feel like they're going to do, then, because they did with all the Lyrical sets this time around, that probably means, you know, we're going to get some involved Ridelines. Look at the top 5, choose to 1 card with Nonoko and its card name, or a Cannonball card, reveal, put it down, shuffle your deck. So either get your Ace grade 1, or get more order spamming, or to be more specific, your main order if you don't count all set as your order. Me personally, I just count all set in my order, because free soul charge 1 every turn, I get to play a Cannonball from hand, so fuck yeah. But you know, Michu, all around good, get you one of your 2 ace cards. Why not running it as a ride deck 1 of? Though I do hate it though, because it kind of just reminds me that's what that grid skill was. I believe its literal skill was when it's rode upon by the grade 3. Check the top 5, and I think it was add a grade 2 or greater with that grid in its card name, or add a maple to hand, so yeah. Or just add a card with glitter with that's grade 2 or greater. So either way, one of Michu in the ride deck. She's just good. Then move on to our grade 3s. 4 copies of our set order that we've more or less talked about a decent amount, and that is Flower Ball, Flower Cannonball. Grade 3, normal order, set order after set order is played, goes to order zone, play it by counterblasting 1. Or you could just use this, all set, and then place it down on first turn without having to pay the counterblast. Because, you know, placing into an order zone, or putting into order zone is different than playing it, even though it still occurs, because auto when is put into your order zone, yet even if you pay the cost, you still get to pull this ability off. Draw a card. So either you just have this in your opening hand, you play all set, and then you immediately get a free draw without having to do any sort of counterblasting for it, or you just wait and play the counterblast for it. Here's the thing, you will never need to wait, just play it when you can. And then at order zone, if you have a grade 3 or greater with Michu and its card name, put this card to drop and change all your Vanguard's Cannonball abilities to Auto Van. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 2, choose 3 of your units, and they get plus 10 for the turn until end of turn. So, here's my thing. It just says if you have a grade 3 or greater card with Michu and its card name. I assume that means on Van, but I pulled this right from the fandom. So, either they're forgetting something, or this can actually work even if you don't have a grade 3 on rear, or even if you don't have a grade 3 on Van. And then also says all Vanguard's Cannonball abilities, Michu only has 1. I think they are confirming we're getting evolutions next set. And then also just the Soul Blast 2, which I've been treating as Soul Blast 3 this whole time, plus 10 to 3 units. Here's what you do. You boost Michu with Nonoko. She's an 18k boost now because you give her the plus 10. The 10k goes to Michu as well because of the transit property. You give plus 10 to both of your front or rear guards, and then when Nonoko restands, you have an 18k swinger because she doesn't lose the power because they're swapping circles. So, Flower Ball Cannon, or Flower Cannonball, 4 of. It increases your power to a great amount, and if you ever think Soul Blast is a problem, like I said, this exact deck wasn't having a soul problem, and I was paying 3 for this. Not 2, 3. And I was doing it so much, and no one ever corrected me, and I was still never having a problem with it. 4 of, you're crazy not to run it. Then we have 4 copies of Shine Brighter Than the Sun Vine, grade 3, 200% right, 13k base. Auto rear when this unit attacks, if you have all set in your order zone, this unit gets plus 5 for the battle, then put a set order from your drop to bottom, this unit gets another plus 5. And this is the reason why I was never decking out. I consistently drew her, card her to board every time, instant 18k because I have at least all set in my order zone, and then because I was never calling her to board, I could just quickly send my Cannonball to bottom, and she's a 23. And then, you know, plus the Cannonball skill to add plus 10 to her, 33. And because I was consistently hitting my Persona rights, 43 without triggers. Never fuck with Vine. She's at least a 43k on her own most of the times I play this deck. You do not want to screw with her. 4 of. Just the numbers, the ability to prevent me from decking out, was not to like about her. Even if, by the way, even if you know that I don't have triggers left, that doesn't stop me from killing you. There's still big-ass numbers you have to block. It's just easier, because you know there's not triggers involved, but 4 of Vine. Then move on to our last card in the deck, 3 of in the main deck, 1 of in the ride deck of our main girl, first to head towards a dream, Michu. Grade 3, 200 Persona right, 13k base. Active and once per turn if your order zone has all set in it. Counter boss 1, draw a card, choose a card from hand, call to rear guard, or discard it. So my disappointment with this is that it's almost copy and pasted word for word the same skill as Leonorn, except the thing is we slapped a restriction onto it where you have to have all set in your order zone. Thankfully, there's no order carrols yet. I'm really waiting for that. Oh my god, that's what the Dark States card's gonna do. That's what the Dark States card that's skill says you can only have one of it in the deck's gonna do from Dear Days. It's gonna be able to destroy orders. Because a lot of decks now have a lot of good set orders that change their deck's playstyle. That's what he's going to do. He's going to destroy set orders. Bet right now. I call it. Either way, that skill is okay. It's not the best, but yeah, I don't really waste my counter blast on it. I'd rather use on Nonoko. And then Cannonball Auto Van, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 2, choose an opponent's rear guard, murder, and she gets plus 5 for the turn. Okay, the murder, because, you know, this requires you to, actually, no, it doesn't require your opponent to be at grade 3, so you could use about there at grade 2. Oh my god, I was also using this one. I was waiting for my opponent to be at grade 3 to use this. Brokenness, I tell you. Brokenness. Michu over here, still good. Like, getting to Soul Blast 2 to kill an opponent's rear guard is still nice, so there are occasions where you won't pick Cannonball over it, because maybe, you know, you can't kill him, so might as well go for rear guard murdering instead. But I do prefer just to spam Cannonball whenever I can and, you know, get massive numbers. And now that I know I can spam Cannonball wherever the fuck I feel like it, everyone get the hell out of my way. I'm about to blow cannon through all of you. 3 of Michu in the main deck, 1 of in the ride deck. As for the deck, I hope you guys enjoyed. Honestly, like I said, I've been playing this deck to, like, its limited extent. This deck is the exact same, except for maybe one card's, like, number difference, is almost the exact same as the version I had when Michu first came out. And it's still that good. It still gets the consistent Persona rides / Nonokos. It still gets the consistent numbers. I'm not decking out. All set, still the best order in the fucking world. Flower Cannonball is even better now that I know it's on a Soul Blast 3. And now that I know I can use it when my opponent's at grade 2, I'm gonna abuse the fuck out of it. It's just good. It's just good. The numbers, the multi-attack, the triggers, the persona rides, don't fuck with it. It does what it needs to do. So I'm Andy here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. If you stand up, your vanguards.